before we start today, before now, you guys have already talked about different things. So before I dive into what I want to discuss today, I don't know if anyone have any question related to what they have learned so far, any confusion somewhere that I can help you with, any confusion, any question regarding what you have been learned so far on regarding ROS, so that I can help you explain and solve the problem this session. Yeah, Akanimo, you have question, please ask.
Okay, sir. I think one of my issues is some of the struct and enums methods, and also we are having issues on some of the import terminologies in terms of Rust, and just
Okay.
like let's say the names of those imports, maybe import for some of the things we've not understood more what is on import and export in Rust. Because I think when we were doing some of the classes, we made some use cases of some imports which we don't know the names and how to import them. And lastly, I think compilation when it comes to writing smart contracts with Rust, how to spin up a Rust contract project here. That's the three issue I have. Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. And hopefully, because of this issue that you say you have now, so in today's class now, I will, after writing everything, after everything is working, we will modularize the code, whereby, so I will talk about the importation part, so that I believe by then it will be more clearer for you guys. So with this, that's why it's more practical based today. So it's not about just talking, you are seeing what is happening. And instead of, if you have question along the way, you can ask. So your question has been answered. So we'll dive in deeper on that once we start writing the code. So any other person with question before we start? No question? All right. So today we are going to, so if you can, you guys still see my screen? Uh, sorry guys, I can't see you. So if you guys can see my screen, you should just indicate, like unmute your mic and let me know. So can you still
Yes,
see
I
my
can see
screen?
yours.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
Yes.
I can see
you can
yours.
see you can see my code editor, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is what we are going to do today. Rust programming exercise, just to build a simple library book system. So the objective here is to create a basic library, to create a basic library system to practice structs. Akinimo, sorry if I pronounce your name wrongly, my bad. So we talk about enums, match statement, and implementation blocks. So all this we are going to talk about while building this book library system. So the first part is to create this, in everything you want to build, you have to like structure things out, how you are going to do it. So basically now I've already have this little AKMD down, whereby I will use it as a guide to follow on how to do each of the part. So basically now this part one now says we should create a book enum. So using enums now, we'll create we create an enum that have these three variants. The if a book is available, if it's checked out to someone, that's if it's given to someone, or if it's under repair. Basically, let's say they are repairing the book tear, have a like the cover is torn or something, so it's under repair. So if it's under repair, or if it's checked out to someone, another person can check it out, like they can give it to another person. So, and again, here the genre enums, that's for the book, either if the book is fiction, non-fiction, mystery, science fiction, and also the book structure. So the struct of the book now will be, we have the title, the author, number of pages in the book, and the current status. So the current status now will hold the enums. The current status value now will hold the enums that we created, which is the status enums, and the January will hold the enums we create for the January. So that's for the part one. Is that understood? So let's do it bit by bit so that we won't be go ahead of ourselves. So we have like 4 parts. So that's just the first part. So can we start writing the code now? If you guys like understand this first part, you guys understand this first part, right? Okay. So let's dive in and write the code. Let's get rusty. So now, do you guys know how to create an enums? Can someone unmute their mic and just talk about what you understand about enums? Anyone? Someone should help us.
Basically,
Can you hear
like,
me?
okay.
Yeah, someone should go first. We can hear you. Who is talking? Who wants to talk? One of you should like one of you want to talk, so you can unmute your mic and say something. Okay, I guess no one wants to talk. So basically now, enum is another different kind of is part of the compound. You know, we have the primitive data type and we have the compound, and some people can also call it the complex data type. So basically now, the primitive now, I believe before now, you guys know about the heap and the stack. So the heap is where data that at compile time, the length or what the values, what that data will hold are not known at compile time. So any data that its value cannot be known by the compiler at the compile time, it's stored on the heap. But the ones that the values are being known at compile time, it's being stored on the stack. So we have the heap and the stack for storing data. So, but basically now, even storing data on the heap, the pointer to that data now will be stored on the stack. So the stack basically holds the pointer. The pointer is kind of like address. That address is what will be used to trace, to look at the heap now. That's because now at the compiler now, the compiler will first look at the stack now to get all the value of the, or the variable you created. So, but for data stored on the heap now, since they are not stored on the stack, but what is stored on the stack now will be the pointer, which is like the address. So that address is what the compiler will use to locate the where the value is on the heap. Do you guys get that? So basically now, most don't think it as like this way. All your primitive data type, that's the integer, the booleans, the string slice, and which other one? Even your array is being stored on the stack. All primitive data type, they are data that their sizes are known at compile time. So that's the example of variable or value stored on the stack. So for value stored on the heap, they are basically mostly the compound data type, which is we have the string, we have the vector, hash map, and all of them, most of them, even struct is being stored on the, in most cases, like the one we want to use now, is being stored on the stack because we will make use of the string and some other complex data type within the struct body. So now, let's create our enums now. The book status enum now. So to do that, you just do your enum, then write the name, status. So we write according to this ACMD, we have to implement 3 variants: the available, the check, and under repair. So we have our enums. We have our enums to hold the status of the book. So the other enums now we have to create two enums. So the other enums is the general enums. So same implementation, same body, just different variant. So sorry about that. So let's continue. So the second enums we have fiction. So if you guys are hearing background voice, I'm sorry about that. The non-fiction. I hope you guys are coding along with me. Or am I the one just writing my own my code? I hope so. I hope not too. But at the same time, if I believe some people understand better while watching along. Some of you can also jot along while watching it. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to code along. But the main aim here is for you to just understand what is going on. So we have science fiction. So this is the genre. I believe you all know genre. We have fiction. According to this book we want to create, we have fiction, non-fiction, mystery, and science fiction. So now the other part is to create the struct of the book. So to do that, you write struct, then the name of the struct you want to create. Then in this case, I want to name it book. So we have title. That's struct six struct like I believe by most of us. I think I believe most of us know about most of us know about JavaScript object. So just think of struct as a JavaScript object in this case, whereby JavaScript objects we have the property and the value. So basically now, kind of the the explanation is kind of almost the same in this case, whereby in here we have the property name and also the value. So that's what we are doing here. We have the name, that title, and the value. So in this case now, we just a struct. We don't know what we are going to store in it yet. So we are just kind of like creating the blueprint of everything. That's the use of this struct in this case. So if you know about object-oriented, that's OOP, object-oriented programming, and you have come across there's a method to create objects, the class, and all that with JavaScript. I don't know why I'm coming to JavaScript, but yeah, I'm just trying to explain what we are trying to do here. So here we are just kind of creating blueprint of the struct here. So this one will hold the value of string, but the string at this point, we don't know which string we are going to store. You don't know the actual size. You don't know the value. So in this case, for anything that you want to store in a string that you don't know the size at compile time, you should make use of the string type. Yeah. So the other part is the author. Holds the value of string. We also have the number of pages. Number of let's use you 32. 30, or let's use 64. Then, so status now. So this is where we make use of the enums we created now. Status now will be of the status enum. And the January now. January will be of the January enum. So do you guys understand so far? This is the first part of our implementation. Do you guys understand what's going on so far?
I have a question actually.
Sure. Please ask the
Yes,
question.
we were talking about stack and if. Yeah, stack is when you can, by my own understanding, stack is when you can, I think you can add from the top and also remove from the top. While if it's like a big room whereby you can store by using the pointer. So we understand that array is stored on the stack, while vector is stored on the. But in a case whereby array like is known at the compile time because you can actually fix the size. You can say okay, your array should be 5. So the values can be more than you can have more than 5 in your value also. So let's say you want a growable array whereby you are using a vector. So where is that going to be stored? Will it still be stored on stack or will it be on?
So nice question, lovely question. So regarding array, array is kind of like a data type to store collection of data, right? So basically now in rows now. So your question is that if you want an array that will grow. So in this case now, if you want array that will grow, so there's what we call there's other collections in rows now. There's other data type to store collection. There is there is vector, there is hash map, and others, which you can use for this case now, whereby you want to store something that will grow, that will increase in size. That basically now their size is not known to you. You know that along the line their size will keep growing. So in this case now, you make use of vector or hash map or the others. Do you get that?
Yeah, I know that if you want it to go, you can use vector. But my question basically now is that since array by default stores on the stack,
Yeah,
but once I'm adding vector to it, meaning it has to grow. Yeah,
yeah.
will it still be on the stack or will it now become stored on the heap? That's my question.
So it will be on the heap. So anything that will grow will be on the heap. You get that?
Yeah,
So, but in this case now, you know that even your string now you can mutate it and change it, right? You can mutate, perform mutation. That's if you write a
yeah, yeah,
string
yeah,
now,
yeah,
mutate it now.
yeah, I
So in
get.
that, I believe your question is something similar to that, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So you want to know whether it will be stored on the stack on the heap, right?
Yeah,
So the thing is that here now, even as you mutate it now, as you mutate the value will still be stored on the stack, because now as you are mutating, the mutation is happening on your code. You are the one, you as a programmer now, you are mutating it in your code. You know what you want to mutate it to. But in a situation whereby you want to mutate the value, but let's say you are using command line now, and along the line, let's say if you run maybe something, then once you click on enter, then the variable now will hold the value you pick that you specify in your compiler. So in this case now, the value won't be stored. You can't even use normal ampersand str to store that kind of value. It won't work, because now if the other one that you are mutating in your code, whereby let's say the first line now you create a variable, you name it your name, then on the second line now you are mutating it to another person name. So in your code already, the compiler, once the compilation is starting now, so the compiler is going through everything line by line. So you already know that the mutation is happening in your code. It's not that you are getting the value outside of your code. So any mutation that is happening on your code now, basically everything is being stored on the stack. But in a situation whereby we are trying to mutate the variable. But the variable, that's the value, even you as the programmer, you don't know what the value will be. But you just know that in this case, you just know that the value will be of string type, but you don't know the length of the variable at compile time. So those kind of variable are being stored on the heap. You get that? Yeah. So can we, any other person with any question with what we have done so far? So we have the enum status, enum dictionary, and the book struct. That's the first part. So the second part says we should add behavior with implementation block. So now we want to add behaviors to this book now. We want to be able to, basically now what we are trying to do is that we want to create a function that will be able to help us to, it will serve as a utility function instead of us having to do it over and over in our code. You know, the rule says that don't repeat yourself. So with function now, functions are a good use case of implementing something that kind of abstract some logic out of your code, whereby you can just call the function and perform that same thing multiple times instead of having to hard code it every time. So basically, that's what we are trying to do now. We want to create in this case now, they say for the book status now, methods to check if the book can be borrowed, method to get a description of the book, of the status. So for the book now, we'll create a function that will do this to now, to check if book can be borrowed. That's based on the status. And also another method to get a description of the status, to just to display the current status of the book. So for the second one now, for the genre part, you say we should create a method to get the shelf section, like section A for fiction. Did I get this? Let's see. So the second one says method to check if it's a popular genre. Okay. So here now we are going to, so that's for the book part. We are going to create a constructor to create a new book. So that's basically a function to create book. So whereby you just call the function and a book is created. So, and another one, we have method to check out book, to give it, basically to give it to somebody, and another one, method to return the book. That's to make it available. That's to just change the status from check to what is it called? Available again. Then the third one says method to send book for repair. Basically now it's dealing with just status now. Method to get book information as text. Yeah. So that's what we are going to do now. So since in this case now, I want to throw a question to you guys now. We are going to have multiple books here now. What do you think is the best way to store all these books? Anyone?
Sorry, sir, you mean like each of the book the user will store, like we have multiple users that want to store their book, and each of the books have different title, author, and pages. I think maybe we can use something like maybe array.
Yeah. You are right. We can either use array or vector in this case. So basically now, why we are using array or vector is simply because, you know, everything we are going to create now, we are creating it in our code. It's not as if we are going to call a function or something is like a backend server is calling this function outside here that will kind of like push a value or a book struct inside the code. So in this case, we can either use what's it called, array or vector. Anyone that we use is valid. But just know that what is happening here is that if we use vector now, you know, Rust is as they say, is a programming language that is more efficient and also makes you to kind of think about more of ownership, borrowing, and other things. Every time you are writing your code, you have to think about the heap, the stack, and all of that, just to make your code reliable and safe. So in this case now, we can either use array or vector, whichever one will work. But just that, there is kind of like some downside if we use, because basically now, in this case now, we know where we are going to store it. We know that this thing, if it will increase, it will only increase in our code. So we can use array for that. We can just use the normal array for that. But if you don't know, we can use, in a situation that we don't know, we can use the vector data type. But to just demonstrate the vector data type, I'm going to use the vector data type here for those that are having issue with it. So now, in our code now, we want to store it somewhere. Okay, let's just see how it's going. In the main function, we'll just use a vector. We just make use of vector to store the books. So before that, we are going to implement the implementation block. Basically now, like I said, the implementation block is where we write all the functions, all the logics we explain in this part too about this book now. The logic to add, to construct a new book, to check book to someone, to return it, and all of that. We are going to make use of the implementation block. So to do that, just IMPL stand for implementation, then the book. So here now, so basically now, in implementation block, that is what we call associated function, and that is what we call methods. So, but all of them are function. If you, yeah, all of them are function basically, but they are different kind of function. So we have function that doesn't need anything related to the book. So just basically now, just see the method, the associated method as function that is used to basically to create something, to create the first instance of probably this book struct or some other struct that you want to create. Basically now they are the one that doesn't take self as argument. So our fn to declare a function, then what should we rename it? Constructor. So basically now, and we are going to, are we returning it? Should we return it? So I want to throw a question now. Are we going to return its function? Is this going to be a function that we are going to return or not? So let me see if you guys are following. Or should I call names? Hamidat Bashir, is she new here? So anyone want to answer this question? So are we going to, this constructor function we are creating, are we going to return something out of it or not? In your own, just feel free to talk.
Yes, I think we are going to return. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we are going to return the book in this case. So in the function body now, we'll create a book struct. So we are going to pass some argument. So let me just copy this. So like as always, you have to specify the data type. So the data type now that you are going to specify must be the same as as what you declared here. So all of them, their data type will hold the same value as what you declare in the in what is it called in your struct body. So let's say in a situation whereby this thing, what is it called? Let's say instead of having passing this string as the data type at the type for this title now, maybe you pass the ampersand str. So you can do this also, but you get this error saying mismatch type string found str. So the compiler is expecting it to be of string, but it's getting string slice. So what you can do here is that you can just convert it. So the compiler just want to make sure that it's getting the data type that you specify here. That's string, the string here. So you want to make sure that you are passing the right data type. But in this case, you are not passing the right data type. So to avoid all this error, you can just basically start just use the normal string. But if you are like me now, I can decide, hey, I want to practice along, I want to do something different. So you can just do your dot to string. So so basically what this is does is that it will convert it for you from str to string. So we are still getting this error, but let's see. Let me finish this string. And here, view 64. And here we have status. Here we have the January. So here now, this is another question now. So do anyone understand like, you can do something like this. Let's say this January now, you can do something like this. Status. No. Oh, I didn't even spell the status correct. Pages, author, and here title. So we're having error. Why are we having error? What is this error? Okay. It's quite small like that. Yeah. So basically now, you can do something like this. So the other method is called the shorthand method. So it works because this title, author, like the properties, the naming of each part of this field now, the naming now, they are the same thing here as the argument in this case. They are the same thing as the argument. So if the argument you are passing is the same, that's the argument, the field name is the same as what you wrote here, you can just make use of the shorthand instead of having to do your title, then pass the value, your title, your field, then that value like that. So basically, now since they are the same, you can just pass the value.
I have a question.
Yeah, please shoot.
So what I'm doing here actually, I don't know. I haven't come across constructor as a keyword. I thought Rose doesn't have constructor as a keyword. I used to think
No,
that
this is
me,
not
I
a
know
keyword.
that no, I used to think
Continue.
that okay, for me I know that they use new, like you can use new when you are let's say you want to do a constructor, you use new. But this is my
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah,
constructor actually. So and secondly,
yeah,
you can't instead of returning book, can't you just
yeah.
use what's this word? In JavaScript there's this thing called this, whereby you are referencing the exact maybe you are referencing that very exact thing you are working on. So instead of using returning, I think you can use self. Am I correct?
Ye-
Am I right? Like,
Yes, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So you're absolutely right. We can use so constructor talking about constructor, yeah. So like you see now, the compiler know that I'm creating associated function, like I said. So something like the new function to just instantiate the book, like to create a book, a function to create a book. So the naming is just left to you. So you can either use constructor or any name, just any name that makes sense to you to just create a new instance of your struct. So any name can work. So it's not like a reserved keyword in this case. It's not a reserved. If it was a reserved keyword, the compiler would have thrown an error for me, but it didn't. So it's mean I'm safe to use it. So it's just convention. The convention is just every programming language have the convention of doing things. So the convention is basically to just make sure you always make use of the what's it called the name. So by convention, let's follow for convention here. You can just new to instantiate the new instance of the struct. Are we clear now? Do you get that now? Yeah. So you are talking about self now. In this case now, we can just do self now. Instead of having to write book here, we can also do self. So you can do self. And here too, you could see I'm using self here and I'm using book here. It's still valid. So in this block, from line 23 up to line 27 now, self is the same thing as the book, that's the book struct. So in this implementation block now, you can make use of self. Self basically mean book in this case. So now we create a instance of a book. So now let's say we are starting with this one. So for book, so we create the first part, say create construct a constructor to create a new book start as available. So we have create a constructor. So the second one say method to check out the book. So method to check out the book. So in this case, we create another function name check. So to just check out the book, basically what we are trying to do here is to just change the status of the book. So in this part case now, this is where we use the what's it called? I talk about the associate function and the method. So in this case now, before writing anything, you could see that associate function. So to change it from associate function now, we make use of ampersand, then self. So basically now I'm coming. Basically now what I'm trying to do is to change its status. Self dot what's it called? Status. So what am I doing wrong? Mm. Okay, so you are raising your hand. Please unmute your mic and talk.
Okay, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So you say that that check is an associated function.
No, no, no. I'm trying to create a method, not associated function.
Okay, okay, okay.
So the
But
new
the
is
thing is, you are returning you want to return itself inside the checked function, but I don't you never specified
oh,
any
I'm not.
return on the checked function.
Yeah, which is why there is this like that one. I have this semicolon, meaning I'm not returning anything in this function. I don't want to give
Okay, okay, okay.
the a book now status now. So this function now just kind of like change the status of a book without returning anything. So it will change the status from available to check. You get Obed, do you get my is that clear?
Yes, yes, I get you.
Okay. So back to our code. So now we have to implement all the bodies. So in this case, the self. Let's try something out. So the what is it called? Status equals to. We want to change it to check. Okay, sorry. It has to be of immutable reference. Yeah. If you want to mutate something, you have to make it a mutable. And if it's a reference, it has to be of mutable reference. So basically what I'm trying to do here is that I want to change the status from initially if you create it, it will be available. That's from the new constructor, each book will be available. But here now, this function is trying to change the current status of the book from being available to check that someone is has borrowed the book or has rent the book. Is that clear?
So I have a question basically on that part. Like,
Yeah, now.
so what are we trying to achieve? Like, so basically, are you trying to print out in the console, like, so we can know that okay, someone has borrowed the title, the author, the status, and whatever. Like, is that what we're trying to do?
Yeah. This code is kind of like this function, like there can be will taught this partner whereby if someone wants to like kind of like let's say borrow it now, you won't be able to borrow it except if the book is available. So if the book is not available, you can't borrow the book, you can't
I
access.
get, I get. Like, by going through your code, like, let me see your code. I want to just ask some questions.
Yeah,
Now you're saying, so now we are implementing these are inside the implement my body. So function checked. Then there's the mute keyword themselves. Are we borrowing or are we taking ownership of the
we are
you
borrowing, we
mean
are borrowing.
we are
We are not
borrowing?
taking.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's so what if we want to take ownership? We're just going to remove that and symbol, right?
If you want to take ownership now, we are just going to pass in the self. But in this case,
Only self.
yeah.
Now,
In
that's
this
the
case,
question I want to ask.
yeah, in this case, because we are everything we are every this function now, every function we are creating here it has to be a self of the book. So we have to be a reference. Here now we are trying to like kind of make this function take ownership. And if this function, immediately this function take ownership of this struct, now every other thing, every other function can use that same thing again. That same book. Like we can perform any function, any implementation with that, with this same with the book now. Let's say we instantiate a book now, and this function now we call it, and this function take the ownership. That's all. Any other function we create after, they won't be able to use access the book again. So everything will be invalid.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah,
Because me, I was using the self keyword alone before, so I was like, why you? But I get.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Immediately you take something, take ownership now, you can't be able to use it again. And that's where you see the compiler error saying, let's say something has been moved or ownership has been transferred, something like that. Exactly. So back to our code. So now we create the second one, method to check out the book. So we have created a method to return the book. So now we want to create a function now to return a book. So basically it's kind of the same thing with this constructor, which will also come back to the constructor later to modify it. So what should we name it? Let's just name it book. The ampersand self. So this one will return the entire book. That's the entire data of the book. So here we can reference it. Available found. So now, yeah. So now the other one, method to send book to repair. So we create an enums. This enums has three variants. When a book is available, when it's checked by default, when you create a book, it will be available. And the check is the function we created just now to kind of like rent it to someone, and the under repair. So we create another function now to change the status of a book to under repair, whether it's available or it's checked out. So whenever you call this function, the status will change to under repair. So we name it under repair. So we pass a mutable reference. So we are not returning anything in this case. We are just going to, what's it called? We are going to change the status self dot status equals to status colon under repair. Yeah, so that's that. Method to get book information as text. So now we want to create another function now to return the book detail data as text. let's say book info. So here now, we are going to return something. What we are going to return is our string. So we pass in self. Reference, we are not mutating in this case, just a reference. So here, what you are going to do, let's create a variable, the title, custom, self, title. So which other one left? Which other one? Author. Self dot author. Then let pages. Comes to self dot pages. So another one. Okay, I have an error here. Let which one? Status to post to self dot status. So now we say we want to return a string. So let's format. Sorry. You can name it anything you want. There is this method used to concatenate string together and turn it to this string data type. This one. Am I doing this right? Okay, let's come back to this later. Let me use string and just push. Let's yeah. So what I want to do is that I'm creating a book struct, then I'll push each of the book in it, each of these books, book fields, that's the value, into this struct so that it will I'll form a meaningful word to print to the to the terminal. So here I specified I want to return a string, so I will return this book. So before that, I will just call the book dot push str and passing the title. Cannot move out of self. Should be a share reference. So what I'm doing here is that because of this error, the compiler is saying I can't move this data out of because they are reference, and I'm trying to kind of like pass their owners. I'm trying to pass ownership in this case. So one way to bypass this is to just clone it, like to clone each of the value. So so now you notice that I'm cloning each of these value, but when it reaches this status now, what happens is that I create um this clone and copy. Basically, it does the same thing. They didn't implement like there is every in ROS now, there is straight for everything. So everything you are doing in ROS, let's say you are for you to perform addition for something to be this left side plus this right side for it to work, a trait has been created for everything you are enjoying right now, for everything that you are doing that is working the way you want. Your let's say you want to do your let's say your is this side and this side, are they equal, are they greater than this, or if the addition or subtraction, all those things logic you are doing. So basically a trait has been created. So in a situation whereby a trait is not created, you have to create it by yourself or kind of like uh, bring it into scope. Like in this case now, I have to specify it in here, on top of this what's it called? This general enums. So let's say without it, let's say we did throw an error. Yeah, it's throwing an error. So it cannot move out of self, which is behind a share reference. Move occur because self status has type status, which does not implement the copy trait. Yeah, like I said, the trait. So for me to implement the copy trait now, I just have to bring this to scope at the top of my enum. Yeah. And also for status, I have to do the same thing. I have to, so the status enum also has to implement the copy trait for it to work. So I'm doing all this now not to lose ownership and not to get, just to bypass this error. So now, let's say dot. So the title and which other one? Title, author, dot. So instead of using this str, we have this push method. So that we can use. So what does this push does? Push does help you to push 1 1 1 1. str. So the author, which one do you want to push again? Pages. I don't think, do we even need these pages? It's what I've expected. So now basically now what we can do is we have to convert the, what is it called? The U64 to string slice, because this push method now it works with only string. So let me throw a question to you guys. How do you think we can solve this problem? Anyone?
Sasa, what's the question again? Sorry, go back to your code. Yeah.
So this is the code now. This book now, the data type of this book is string, right? So now, but we are trying to push this page, and page is of type, what is it called? U64. So how, and this push str now, this push string now is expecting a string as argument, but we are passing a number that's an integer. How can we overcome this? Anyone?
So I think maybe it's converting it here.
You say?
I said let's convert it. Let's convert it. Yeah.
How are we going to convert? That's what I'm saying.
I have a question.
Yeah, shoot, please.
Please, can you just like I was doing something else before, like can you just explain like what you're trying to achieve here? Are we making use of the implement block like from this let me string custom
Yeah,
string?
every function we are doing now, we are still making use of the implementation block.
So now is what are we doing here actually? Like what are we doing? That's
So this function now, we want to use this function to print out everything in the function that is kind of like give a descriptive name of what we are doing. Now this function now, once it will return a string. So the string will hold all the necessary information about the book.
okay. But why are we not using it inside our the main box like the function input?
You said?
Why are we not using it inside the main function? That's what I wanted to ask. I was looking at it like, are we trying to?
So are you saying we should use it in the main function?
I'm asking that why are we not using it? That's it.
So it's just basically from this ACMD. So it's just we are just following the instruction. So we are implementing everything in this what's it called, implementation block, whereby if we call this function, it will do everything for us. And again, why we are not also doing it in the main function is that we are trying to abstract logic away, because after writing everything, we also modularize the code, whereby we'll talk about how to do the import, export, and connect everything together, whereby we'll kind
Oh,
of like
oh,
separate concepts. So
yeah, I
because
get.
the meta model here is that we'll still abstract this code from this main file after. So everything, we are doing everything in the implementation block where so that it will be easily to abstract all the logic out of it. So not
Okay,
to
okay.
not to waste our time. So in a situation like this, if you want to convert from one data type to another one, what you can do that this is a number, right? So we can just do dots to string, and it will convert it to a string. So dot str. So basically, what happened here is that at first, page dot to string now, I convert it to string that's of this type str, and in this part, I convert it to that ampersand str, because this function now, what you want is an argument of str. So without it, you notice that it's shouting. You notice that it's shouting. The mismatch expected ampersand str found string. So which is why I have to do the str also. So we have done that. So another one, book dot push str. So what was it? So, but basically, not to waste our time further, doing this, you guys will notice that this is not efficient. We are just kind of like repeating ourselves, doing things over and over again, and we are not even giving it a descriptive name here in this case. So basically, now what we can do is just to make use of this format. So let me show you guys. Let fmt equals to format. So let's say the book name is what title. Yeah, so we'll return this fmt. So let's just comment this out since we are no longer using it. So I'm just showing you this method, this push method now to show you different way to concatenate string. But you could see it's not, we are kind of like doing the same thing, and the rule says that don't repeat yourself. And with this one, we can even format the text whichever way we want, however we want. So hello, the book name is this, and it has dash pages and author name, sorry, by, that's here we use the author name. It has dash pages. What are we not using currently? Of January. And it's currently, and it's currently. So now, so the first part now, thus the logic here is the same thing as your print line now. So this first one holds the title, this is the author, and this is the page. So we have to pass them here. author, then page, which other one? Page, generally, and the status. So, have you guys come across this error before? So he's saying generally doesn't implement this the display trait. So basically, now if you see something like this, in most cases you will see this error when you are trying to print enums or struct. But if you are printing your string, your primitive data type, or even vector, like if you want to print vector, you also have to implement this trait. So, like I said, a trait has been implemented for everything you are doing. For everything you are doing, a trait has been implemented. So in a situation whereby a trait is not implemented, you have to implement it by yourself. So basically here now what you are going to do is to just have this column, then hash, question mark. So basically you can do this and you can also do this hash. Without the hash, you can do this and it will still work. But the difference between these two is that let's say after this slide, you can try it out. If you work with a vector, you'll see that using this colon hash question mark, it will format it for you. That's it will bring the value in the vector line by line. And this other one, what we do is that we just print everything on the same line. It won't be well formatted like this first one. So we have done that and we have another error. So another error here is that it says generally doesn't implement the debug trait. So we have to
Maybe you can just add the derived debug trait at the top.
yeah. This board is following. I'm glad.
But there's one question I want to ask. Like, you talked about having an array, like a grable array, like a vector. I thought we are going to get the structure of a library. I'm gonna have
You said? Sorry, come again. I can't hear you.
Initially, you talked about storing the books like in an array, like a grable array. So I think you have.
Yeah.
So we don't forget.
Yeah, we will store it in. I can't really get you clearly, but I think from what I could get, we'll still store it in array. That we'll do that in the main. But let's just go with it for now. So we'll come to that shortly. Time is going, and I haven't even do half. We'll be able to finish this. Let's see. So we have to implement the debug trait, and like my guy said, what we do is to just put it here, debug, and also here. So in your at the top of your enums or struct. Now, if you see this kind of error, you just add this hash open bracket derive then debug. Yeah, and you see we no longer have this error. So you can easily remove this. I easily remove this. So what is left? So method to get book information as text. So we have done with this part. We are done with this part. So here now, let's do this too now. Method to check if the book can be borrowed. Method to get a description of the status. Okay, let's just create two functions whereby we just use it won't return anything but just to print to the terminal for this. So we create a function. The first one says method to check if the book can be borrowed. So that's if it's available, it can be borrowed. Else, you can't borrow it. As easy as that. So can be can be is this allowed in ROS? So let's see if the compiler will throw an error. Yeah. So we take a reference to self. So now this is where we make use of the conditional statement now. So let's say if self dot what's it called status if equals to available status colon available if is equals to available. I'm glad we get this error. So binary operation cannot be applied to type status. So this is another trait now. We have to also implement another trait for this now. Like I said, for you to do all your addition, subtraction, and the equality sign and all of that, for it, yeah, so far probably you have worked on it, something like that, and it's working. It's working because under the prelude, that's what we call ROS prelude now, which is something that it comes with your code. As you do your cargo, you install ROS, it has been imported, it has been installed. So like basically what it does is that everything you are making use now, like your string, you see that you notice that so far we are not importing anything from the standard library or anywhere to anywhere in our code. We are basically using things. So basically they are the things that are in the prelude. So anything that is not in the prelude, you have to import it from the standard library by yourself. So but in this case, what we want to use is still in the prelude. So we don't need to import it. But in a situation whereby you need to import something that is not in the prelude, then you have to import it. Like this clone, copy, debug. Then in the standard library, we can import it if we want. But since they are already in the prelude, so we don't need to import it by ourselves. So here now, what is happening here is that for status now, we want to compare status now. If it's available, then we should print something. If it's not, we should print another thing. So basically, that's what we are trying to do. But we are getting this error because we are performing equality check here. So the equality check is throwing an error saying for this enum now, the trait equal has not been implemented. So for we to do that, we have to implement it by ourselves. So you can either use partial, you can use partial equal in this case. Yeah, and the error is gone. So basically, we are saying we are implementing the traits. There's another topic specific for traits, but I don't know if the other method or I don't know how they are going to do about it, or you guys can also check it out. So you can implement trade by yourself because there are some trades that even in the ROS book, they are not there. But you as the programmer now, you want to do something. And with the current implementation, you can't do it except you implement it by yourself. So there is a way to implement, what is it called? There is a way to implement, what do I want to say? There is a way to implement trade for anything you want to do. So what you want to do here is that I want to print to the terminal. So print line. So we say the book, the name of the book, self dot title, then self dot title dot author. So the book title by author is available. So if it's not available, else if then so we check since we have three arms, we check it. Control V. So if it's not available, it will either be check or under repair. Check. So Control C. Thank God for Control C and V is not available. So the final one, we can just do our else and print it. Is under repair. So that is that. So method to check if the book can be borrowed. So we have done that. Just to pass an information about the current status of the book. So the second one. So method to get the description of to get it. So I think we have done that. We have do these two in one. So the genre now method to get the shelf section, like section A. Method to check if it's a popular genre. We didn't implement something like that to whereby we didn't implement something like that so far, whereby we are determining whether a genre is popular or not. First of time self. Let's just continue. But is there any question so far? Sorry guys, please give me like 2 minutes. Let me just quickly, I'm coming. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. So let's just wrap this up. So basically now what we are going to do here with this theory part is to just print something to the, let's perform the same if check now, just to print something to the, what is it called, to the terminal. So we are going to add code everything whereby we'll specify if we are the one determining whether a current genre is popular or not. So I'll just rename this. Now it won't be status here in this case. But in this case, it will be January. Then we have how many? We have 4. So according to you guys, how should we rank it now? Which one is popular, less popular? According to you guys now, someone should help us out. So how should we rank them? Fiction. You guys should talk. Oh, am I muted? No. We are almost done. We are almost done. Are you guys? Can you guys hear me? Wow. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Thank God. So I'm asking, how should we rank the genre now to determine which one is popular or not? So we are coding it by ourselves. We are the ones specifying which one is popular or not. So how should someone should help us out? How should we rank it? Is it the fiction should be popular, non-fiction, like the movie people now? I know you guys watch movies, non-fiction. Movie,
For me, I've
fiction.
not been seeing your screen. I'm just listening.
You can't see my screen.
I've not been just listening. After
I
I
think
watch
it's
it.
network. The screen is come and go, come and go. It's network.
Wow, I'm so sorry about that. But hope you guys are seeing it now.
Yeah, it's clear now. You can see it now. I can see it now. I don't know of him, but I can see it.
But those times that
I
it
think
went
maybe
along, did it take time to come back?
let him let
Hmm?
him
I
let
think I
him go
think
and come.
others have seen it, but me, I'm not seeing it since we started the class. I've gone out and coming. So I
Okay.
just say that after the class, then I'll go and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, please do
Even me
so.
too, I've not been seeing it.
Ha, problem. Ha. So I've been talking to myself since, oh God.
But I can see it
No,
from
no,
my
no.
end here. I think it's the
No,
network.
When I saw that asking question, I now know that maybe it's my network because we
But
can't do a lot of
is there anyone that saw everything from the beginning to the end to this point?
Yeah, yeah. I've been seeing everything.
yes, yes.
Thank God. God.
Since the
So
beginning, I was seeing it from the beginning.
yeah, thank God. So at least the recording part we capture everything. So we have fault 1 to 4. So now we are determining how popular they are according to our rules. So we have this error again. So for this enum, so we have to specify the partial equal trait also. So you could see this error now. This error now, mismatch the expected status found there now. So this is like another example, another use case whereby you can write your own trait by yourself. And this type now is of status, and this one they are different. So you can decide that you want both of them, you want to perform equality check between both of them. So you can write your own trait for this kind of thing by yourself. So now let's say the fiction now. This book by the way is is a and it's very for very popular. self dot join does not implement the display trait. So display trait mean we have to put our hash colon hash and this, yeah, that part is gone. Let's see this one now. You can see this one now is very boring. And this one now, this one now is less popular, but interesting. And here is which one is this? Fiction, non-fiction, mastery. So science now. AI exam. So we are done with this and this. So use match statement now. So we are coming to the end. So create function that use match to describe what action can be taken based on status. Okay. I think what they are saying here is that since we have done something like this, so before now, do you guys know about the match pattern, match statement? Do you guys know about the match statement? Yeah. So basically now, since we are doing our if, we can basically just use the match pattern in this case. So let's just comment this out for now. So match self does status if status if it's available. If it's available, print this. Status if it's checked. And if the status is under repair, print this. Yeah. So with match statement now we have changed we have transformed from our if check to match statement. So basically now with match statement now you have to exhaust all the arms. So all the variant of what's it called the status now you have to write all of them. If you don't want to write all them, you can do this also. Specify a fallback. So let's say you just do for one now, you don't want to do for the rest. you have to do the fallback now. This one stands for like the default in this case, just like our health statement here. So with match statement now, if you didn't perform, it's telling you that you have to check for all the cases scenarios, all cases scenario. But with your if check now, you can just do if and leave the rest. Nobody will, the compiler won't question you. But with match statement, if your match statement, just see it as your switch case in JavaScript. So if you know switching in JavaScript, you understand what is going on here very much well. So you can either do this if you don't want to exhaust all the arm. Let's say you only do for just one, so this will still be valid. Even this will also be valid. So they are all valid. But without this now, the compiler will be shouting that you haven't exhausted all the arms. It's saying status under repair not cover, which is the one that we comment out. So once you uncomment it, we are good to go. So describe. So we have done that. So this last part now here, this part is where we are going to the main function. So in our main function now, they say we should create a book now. Let's book 1 equals to. So now to create a book with struct, what we'll do here is I will call this our book, then colon to get the new function. So the first case we'll pass the title. So the title, so someone should help us. Title, let's be engaging. Oh yeah, which title? Which title? Nobody want help me. I beg now.
The first book can be Phytech bootcamp or Phytech document.
Is that Obed? So the author is specified.
Sarah George.
Okay. So how many page? It has how many page? Let's say 40. And the status in this case, status will be available. So by default, they are available by default. So now, since this question now, I'm seeing a error, a bug from my implementation. It says constructor to create a new book, start as available. So you see, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? This is a big bug in our code. So from the rules, it says it should start with a status now. So like, let's say in this situation, I'm giving you, the user now, the power to create, to make your, to add the status by yourself to the book. So someone can decide to, before he's creating the book and already the book is checked. That doesn't make sense in this case. So I'm kind of like giving the creator the power. But no, that's not the case here. That's not what you are supposed to do here. So now, to handle this error now, I will not allow user now. I don't want to, let's say this is a user, let's say this is an example of a rework scenario or something. And let's say it's a backend service now. And this endpoint saying users should publish their book like that. And already you haven't published instantly, immediately when you publish your book, you already check it out, or you are saying it's under repair. It doesn't make sense. So how to bypass this is to just, so I will give this user this power to do this thing by themselves. So since I'm the one now, I'm only giving them access to be able to add the title, the name, pages, and the generic type. So now I'm the one giving them the start. So by default now, everybody starts with available. Their status is available. So now we remove this one. So at no point in time, no one has that power, to change the status. So now we have an error now. So now here saying especially string found string slice. So basically now what you do is what we did the previous time. We remember what we did to convert one type to another type. So we want to convert this string. This currently now we wrote a string, that string slice. We want to convert it to a string. What will we do? I hope you guys are following. So let me see. Is anyone following?
Method.
You said? You said? Sorry, you say I can't hear you clearly. Can you come again? You guys should
I
speak
said
up.
we use the two string method. Does it make sense?
Yeah, correct. Thank God, I'm not speaking to myself. So to string method, so to change it to string. Oh, can you unmute your mic? Yeah, thank you. So to change it, so we have done that. So now they say we should what? Create 3 to 4. So let's just copy this same thing, and since we have 4 variants of the genre, let's create a 4 book. This is book 2, and the name is, let's say, George Hightech admin. Is it admin? And let's say this one is just to 12. Fiction. If you Sir George, if you say this one that not boring, it's not intentional. So there's one genre we specify that is very, very boring. So let's use this. So book 3, let's say object. Mr. Object. Hightech. Student. It's in a 500 page. Is of science AI generation devs. So this one, let's say, reach that and reach. Who write down? I'm passing title. I flip everything in this. Well, we are just an example. So what is supposed to be the title, I pass it as the author. And you guys have been watching me since. So now let's bring out our terminal. So let's format our code first. So if you want to format your code, just like your PTR, the way PTR does it for you, or yours, you just do your cargo FMC, it will format it for you. Yeah, to look more nicer and clean. So now cargo run. Yeah, no error. But if there is error, cargo won't run. So let's say we want to print the first book now. So we say we should implement the display trait. So like I say, we struct an enum, you have to implement the display trait and debug trait. So we haven't implemented the debug trait, yeah, we have this error. So we have to go up and implement the traits. So at the top of the struct name, we do your derive debug. Yeah, the error is gone. So about the format that I'm talking about earlier. So you see how it's printed on the terminal. Print everything on one line. But with this now, so with this now, it prints everything on different lines, separate lines. So that's what the difference about with that. So now, like I say, okay, try to check out some books. So now, what's the function? So let's say so you see the current status is available. The current status is available. So let's say here now. So let's put everything in a collection. Let's say vector now. Let's vec. We can just do it here. Since we have already declared it and we are not planning to mutate the vector again, and just do your let collection. Sorry, let book score. Let's give it a more descriptive name because vec and yeah. So currently now the compiler doesn't know the data type. We haven't specified the data type. So what's the compiler? If you didn't specify that, as well as they might have taught you, if you didn't specify the data type for a variable, immediately once you give after the equality sign, once you give a value, the compiler will infer the type for you. That's if you didn't specify it, but if you specify it, there is no problem. So in this case now, I haven't specified the value yet, which is why you see this vec or no. So and it's shouting type annotation needed for the vector now. But immediately I put what's it called? My book, it will know what I'm trying to solve. So yeah, you see it infer the type for me. So book 1, book 2, book 1, book 2, book 3, 4, book 1, book 2, book 3, and book 4. Book 4. So we are getting this error here. This error, borrow or move value, yeah. So now we have transfer ownership now. The book 1 now, we have moved it into here now, into this vector collection. So ownership has been moved as of this point, line 30 now. And we are trying to print it out in line 33. It will not work because ownership has been moved. So this value, this book 1 now, the value has been transferred to here now. currently now, this book one now has been dropped. It's no longer in like you can't use it again. So basically now, if a if ownership has been transferred in this case, it should only be if you want to transfer ownership in this case, you should only transfer ownership in a situation whereby you know that after you have transferred the ownership, you won't use the variable again. You won't use it again. So in this case, we are really not using it again. We can just call our books. So books also all the data now, which we can use to visualize all of them. So cargo run. So cargo run, you could see by default, all of them, their status is available. So now let's change the status now, one by one. I'm trying to check out some book. We done some books. So I want to change, let's say the book one now. What is it called? Let's say book two now. I want to change the status now. Book two, it will be of this. So let's say book what is it called? Book two. And I want to call this check function. Check. So we have to, so he's saying cannot borrow, because here now, we pass a reference, mutable reference now. So we want to mutate something in this collection. This collection also has to be of mutable. We have to, we have to declare it to be of mutable variable. So even though we are passing a reference of mutable reference, but the actual value also has to be of mutable for it to work. Yeah. And now with the second one now, which is 0, 1, 2, which is the third one now, we are expecting the third one to be checked instead of available. Yeah, the status has changed successfully and the others are available. So you can change the last one also, which is the third one. Yeah, you change it to check. So what again? So let's say you want to send this one under repair now. I want to change another one to under repair instead of check. Under repair. So initially we change it to check, but we want to change it to under repair. So which is the second one? Yeah, here. We change it to under repair. So we have make use of this. So now the book information now. Let's see the first book now. What's it called? So the book information, let's say in this case now, since we are returning a string, let's store it in a variable. So we can be able to print it out. let's see the first book. In this case, okay, let's use the third one since we changed the first one is also okay. Dot what's it called? Book info. Yeah, so let's print it out. Yeah, it says let's format it. Hello, the book name is, let's make it look more nicer. So, why is it not formatting? It's this is not working. Well, that's not an issue. So this function to just print the information of the book as text to the terminal. So this one can borrow now. So let's say books dot let's say 2 dot can borrow. Now this one just print to the terminal. So let's comment this out so that I'll be able to see what you are doing. So the book Pytech student by Mr. Albert is under repair. So you cannot borrow it since it's under repair. And if you change it to 2, it's 2. This one is under repair. 1 is also under repair. 0. It's not available. The book fighting system is out there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm changing the wrong thing. You guys are not even telling me that I'm doing the wrong thing. So yeah, this one is under repair, the second one. So let's use the first one. Yeah, this one is available. The book by Mr. George. And 3. This one is also available. So that's that one. This can borrow. And this January now, we can do our books dots. Book then let's say 1 dot January. So it's saying the book Fighter Academy by Mr. George is a mystery and is less popular but interesting. So basically what we specify. So this one is saying is fiction and is very popular. So that's that on January, and I believe we have covered everything so far. Any question regarding what you have taught so far? Any question at all? So that we can just, what we want to do now is to just modularize the code and call it a day. So if there is no question, I will proceed to modularize the code. So now, basically what I want to do is that I want to separate concern. I want to separate concern in this case. So, and I will talk a little bit about modularization. So let's say, I want to put this, what's it called? This struct and this one now. I want to put it in a separate file. And this one also, this implementation block, I want to put it in a separate file. What I'm trying to do is just to kind of like give a mental model of how the import it to different part of your code. So I'll just like kind of separate all of them, say differently, so that you guys can see what is going on. But before I do that, should I share this code with you guys on the call? Guys, should I share the code on the call? Jumbo drop.
You share it in the group,
Okay. Okay. So let's modularize the code. So now I'll create a folder named enums, and I'll create another one named struct. And I'll create, let's say, I want to create another one, IMPL, implementation block. So let's start copying everything out one by one. So let's copy this. As for the enums, I create a folder for enums. So I just create folder. Let me create the file. My book, let's say book enums .rs. Book enums.rs. So here, I will just copy this. So don't worry about the error. So everything will be clear shortly. I'll just follow along. So I'm just more of copy and paste now. So we have this, our enum. So this struct also, just this one. I want to copy it and paste it in its own file. In this struct, so I'll create a file name book struct. You can name it anything you want. So I've copied the book struct. So now another thing that I need to do now is this implementation block, because I want it to be in this main file now. I want everything to be. I want everything. The only thing that will be in this main file at the end of this should only be the main function. So X. So this implementation block. So now I've abstract the logic out. So now what is happening now is that I need to bring everything into Scuba. So I need to import it to this main file so that all this error will be gone. And you could see this one is not throwing error, and this one is also not throwing error. So it's not throwing error because you could see here it's throwing error because Ross Analyzer is able to analyze the error using the Ross Analyzer, what's it called, extension. So it's able to help me to know where error is on the code currently. But it was not able to help me with this book enums and this, what's it called, this structs, book struct. It's unable to help me, although there is no really error here. But in this one that's supposed to be a error, there's supposed to be a lot of red line because they are making of this book that is not here. So it's supposed to throw an error. But Ross Analyzer is not able to help me this case because at this point in time, Ross Analyzer doesn't have knowledge of this file yet. So let's say in this case now, let's say you want to now for Ross Analyzer, for every with this current Ross folder now, the entry point of this Ross folder now is this main.rs now. So this is that is what we call a library crate and a binary crate. This is a binary crate. A crate meaning this function now, this binary crate meaning that there is an entry point. The entry point will be main.rs, and inside main.rs there will always be a function named main. So the main is the entry point of everything in a binary crate. And a library crate is the one that you see with lib.rs, not main.rs. Like I said, lib.rs for library crate. They are used for library. Let's say you want to create your own library and publish it on what is it called? Crate.io. Crate.io is similar to your npm package manager, where you go there to check for packages and install whichever one you want. So that's what we call crate.io in Rust, which does same thing like that. So you might want to create your package now and publish it there. To create a package now or a library where some other people can use to make use of lib.rs, which is called library crate. So and library crate doesn't have entry. The entry point is the lib.rs, but the library crate now, it doesn't have a main function. So there is no function called the entry point, unlike this one that the entry point is the main function. So you notice that if there's no main function, if you write any other function that is not main, now you know nobody the compiler won't be able to know what you are trying to do because what it's looking for is just the main.rs. So in this case now, for each of this folder now, let's say we want to import something now. Let's say you want to import something, you want to import this book now. If you want to import, you use crate. So, but currently now in our crate now, we only have main. So to bring others into scope now, for each of this folder now, you have to create what they call mod.rs. Mod.rs.
So you are not audible. Is it that it's from my place or something?
The class won't finish. Abi, what happen?
It's like he cut off the call because I didn't hear him
Yes,
saying bye
mentor
bye.
no day will go without to. Since you know the I dey back him go carry. I dey back him carry on now. Only go.
That day, sir. Carry on.
Take explorer, more continue now. Shoot. Teach us I beg.
Adebakin should share this in his screen. Adeosun.
Senior devs.
Man, I know why me. Man, I never understand anything what happened today. I just did the observe. I just,
Observation key now.
I just,
This and Christiana no dey come class. You just come last just
it
come
I
remains
that
to go
small, make I
rewatch that
cry.
video. I have to go rewatch that video.
It remains small, make I cry. You know, see why I type for comment section, God when? Eh?
Good. Sorry, guys. So I just noticed that I've been offline since.
Oh my God.
Sorry, when did the call got disrupted? Like how many minutes ago?
5 minutes to 10 minutes. Sha.
Ah, you guys. Okay. So sorry about that. So my my battery is down. But
Okay.
what I'll do is that but you guys follow till the part where I want to moderize the code, right?
Yes, we observe. We observe reach there.
Yeah, so sorry about that. What I will do now is that I'll create a GitHub repository, I'll modularize it and share it with you guys. And I will likely share a HackMD that will explain how every part of it is done so that you understand better. I'm sorry about this disruption.
It's too much. We'll be
Yeah, thank you.
waiting.
So let's say before the end of the or at latest by tonight, I will share it with you guys. Sorry about the disruption. So no light, power is gone. So thank you guys once again, and I hope bit by bit you guys will understand everything that is going on. I hope it's not too confusing, Sha. Are you guys sure? Because I see the comment section. No.
It's confusing, but we are just trying our best.
Yeah. So
We'll
Ross
watch
is
the
basically,
video, sir. We'll watch the video.
yeah, please do. And if you have any further question, just message me or drop your message in the group and I'll answer that. So I would just encourage you guys to kind of like take this Ross more serious because you could see Ross is like Ross is a system programming language. So Ross is literally with Ross, you can literally build anything. You can build front end, you can build back end, you can even build AI with it, like a lot of things with just one language now. You don't need to learn any other language. With just one language, you can do anything. Like you have a superpower kind of thing to build anything you want. So you don't need to learn, let's say you have to learn JavaScript for front end, you have to learn Node for back end, you have to learn what is it called? React Native for like you have to learn different kind of language for different things. But with Rust now, you just learn one language and you can do everything. Isn't that lovely? So guys, once again, thank you guys for having me. So I hopefully will see you again. So bye bye. Mr. George, do you have anything to say?
All right. Thank you very much, Yunus. Thank you so much for staying up to now. Though I know that you had other engagements, but you still stayed. And I'm pretty sure that when they go over it again, they'll be able to get it clearly. Like, thank you so much. Guys, let's drop reactions, please, if you enjoyed the class. Thank you very much, Yunus. All right. So we'll still be having this hands-on section again. We'll be having another one on Saturday. So please, before Saturday, use it to go through what they've done, try to follow through, and we'll see on Saturday. So hopefully it may be during the dev hour period. I don't know, depending on the mentor's timing and schedule. All right. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for joining in, and have a very nice day.
Yeah, have a lovely night, everyone.